If hating Nintendo was a sport, I'd be the Michael Jordan of it. For years, I have thrown innumerable tomatoes at this company for a variety of reasons, and today, I feel so vindicated after all the Nintendo Switch 2 announcements.
Nintendo is an awful company. They have truly become the purest form of cancer in this entire industry, and here's why. Charging $80 for a video game isn't just ridiculous, but it's dangerous.
Mamma mia, it's me, Mario! Today we're talking about the Switch 2 and all of the drama, rampage, and misinformation around it. If you think this is a video that's going to be defending Nintendo, you're sorely mistaken. If you think this is a video that's going to be shitting on Nintendo, you're also sorely mistaken. I am going to attempt to give a nuanced opinion, which is something that frankly I don't think exists on the internet around this topic right now, so I thought I would give it a whirl and see if I could actually break down how we got here. We're gonna discuss where they deserve the criticism, where they don't, and everything in between. But to start, we have to go to the beginning. Have you ever heard of ninjas? No, not people skilled in ninjutsu. No, not Tyler Ninja Blevins. I'm talking about Nintendo ninjas. They are tyrannical when it comes to their IP, to the point of literally ruining people's lives.
Smash World Tour, unjustly shut down, an absolute sin and affront to God. Gilva Sunner, over the last week, had 3,500 of his videos taken down by Nintendo. Yesterday, Point Crow posted this video where he talked about how Nintendo is not only taking down a ton of his content, mainly Breath of the Wild, but also striking his channel for it. They're actually making a stink about Nintendo property being in Gmod now. Is there nothing Nintendo won't ruin? Nintendo suing a streamer of pirated software for millions of dollars. They would basically jailbreak the Switch and they'd sell it and make money off it, and he served 40 months in jail. He is going to have to forfeit 25 to 30% of his income every single month to Nintendo until he can pay off his $10 million+ debt to them. That is a legitimate, life-ruining obligation that he will have to fulfill.
I'm using a lot of Moist Critical clips in this video because he is a source that I know. I'm actually a fan of Moist Critical. I literally discovered him when he got featured on =3 for the co-op video all the way back when he blew up. It's a criticism that he gets, but I think there is a truth to it that a lot of the time he represents the mainstream opinion. And he has gotten to a point, as you can see by those clips, that he hates Nintendo. I mean, hates them. He literally made a video titled like the Nintendo Switch 2 drama, and the drama was that people actually bought the system. Now, you could label Moist Critical as a Nintendo hater, and to me, you would be wrong. He is somebody who really tried to support Nintendo games, even going as far as sponsoring a lot of Smash players with Moist Esports.
This is of course a scene I'm very passionate about since our esports organization literally started in Smash Brothers. Without Smash Brothers operating the way that it has been, there would be no Moist Esports, and without Moist Esports, the world is a worse place.
He got super into the competitive community, and it's something that I appreciated. Someone that big being involved in the Smash community, a community that I'm a huge fan of, was a overwhelming positive. He got to see firsthand how Nintendo treats its communities, and it has led to him becoming frankly bitter and resentful towards them, and rightfully so. I do think he now looks at Nintendo with hate-colored glasses and kind of assumes the worst out of everything they do, so he really isn't a super reliable Nintendo opinion anymore, but I can't blame him. When you attack your fans, they are going to attack back. That's why a lot of people hate Nintendo. That's why people want to emulate their games, because you don't support us. Why would we support you? All Nintendo is worried about is immediate financial consequence. And sure, ruining somebody's life because they streamed your game a day early isn't going to have an immediate financial consequence. Taking down emulators isn't going to. Ruining Smash events isn't going to. But you are going to hurt your reputation to the point that people are going to be this resentful hateful towards you, that they are knowingly spreading misinformation about your console. Their company's mission statement is to bring smiles. You would think they would let a couple of things slide because, man, I don't know if taking down that Smash tournament will really bring a lot of smiles. But they don't. And so when people grow to hate and resent them, they deserve it. Now we go to the other side of the coin. Now we know why people hate Nintendo. Now we know what they could have done to maybe build up a little more good faith. But what this has turned into is hate, harassment, and misinformation surrounding the Nintendo Switch 2 and its fans. And now the people on the other side who had a legitimate reason not to like Nintendo have steered into the wrong, where now people who weren't even fans of the Switch 2 are saying, I kind of want it to succeed now because you guys are being so annoying.
Look what they did. They charged $80 for games, so now I can make fun of you for buying the console.
Take this tweet, for example. This woman posted a picture of her Nintendo Switch 2 and a pizza saying, never kill yourself. I don't know about you, but that seems like a pretty wholesome tweet to me. You know, despite everything, she's having a great night with her Nintendo Switch 2 on day one. I'm sure people had a totally reasonable and joyful reaction to this. Posted a picture of my Nintendo Switch 2 and a pizza, and I've been called every slur in the book, and also a disgusting privileged consumer American. So, hey, can anyone pinpoint the exact moment people started going insane? Why, yes, I can. That's actually the point of this video. It was years of anti-consumer practices by Nintendo and an $80 price tag that was finally the straw that broke the camel's back. But to the point of this tweet, it is absolutely ridiculous that this is happening under basically every post about the console. I get Nintendo has done a lot of wrong and given you a lot of reason to dislike them. But if you go into the comments and harass people based on your petty vendetta with a children's video game company, you are a pathetic loser. You should not feel this type of rage for how grown adults choose to spend their own money. If you don't want to buy the thing, don't. Actually, please don't. Never buy it. I want you to stand on business. When Smash Brothers comes out, when Animal Crossing comes out, when the new Zelda comes out, I want you to say, nope, Nintendo is evil, and anyone who buys it is evil and stupid, and never buy the thing. Because I don't think you will stand on business. I actually don't think a lot of people will. And I think a lot of people who were the biggest haters have already bought the thing. There's also people who, like, under anything Switch 2 related, like, you'll post like, oh, I'm enjoying the new Mario Kart game. And they're like, $500 for a Mario Kart game? What a waste of money. It's like, yeah, because that's the only thing it does and will ever do. And I assume they know that. It's being intentionally ignorant to make fun of somebody? I don't know. $500 for a GameCube emulator? It's like, I don't know. Like, it's pretty awesome that it plays GameCube games. It's also going to play every Nintendo game that releases for the next 8 years. Then you get the misinformation. People intentionally posting bad screenshots of Switch 2 games to make it look less powerful. And the one that caught on the most was that Mario Kart wasn't $80. It was $90. And this caught on big time. I had multiple people in real life talking to me about how it was $90. Most people spreading it knew it wasn't $90, but they spread it anyway because it made Nintendo look worse because they hate them. So now we've established two things. One, Nintendo is wrong for their anti-consumer practices, and two, the community for which is harassing people who buy Nintendo products is also wrong. Both things can be true. But now I want to go over kind of the title of the video, and sometimes Nintendo recently has been held to a different standard than some internet companies. Game keycards are a big one because people are very upset that physical preservation of games is going away. This is to the point that Cyberpunk 2077 has gotten like the greatest PR you will ever see just by including the entire game on a physical cartridge. The outrage over this specifically now that Nintendo is doing it is a little unfair in my opinion, considering that both Microsoft and Sony have had digital-only consoles, not just game cards. They have had full consoles you can buy where physical games are not an option. I don't know if it's just because I'm like in the Nintendo circle that I'm hearing it louder, but the noise feels louder for this than it did for that And I think what Sony and Microsoft did like 5 years ago is a much bigger deal. It's kind of similar to charging for online. It's like Sony and Microsoft had done it for years, and then when Nintendo finally decided to do it, it was like, what? Charging for online? Like, of course they're doing it. Why wouldn't they? They are a business that exists to make money. It's so often it seems that people don't understand that. They have truly convinced some people that they are their friend. I think Nintendo is held to a different standard on pricing as well. They have marketed themselves as the value option. And so when they try and go out of that range, it makes people upset and surprised. Like, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Switch 2 is more expensive than the Xbox Series S, which is kind of unprecedented. I do think that this is kind of a be careful what you wish for situation, because people wanted a more powerful console. They were sick of the weak and outdated hardware. What comes with that is pricing alongside more modern hardware. I think that's a part of the equation that a lot of people didn't think about when they were wishing for that. There's also this expectation to innovate for Nintendo because they are the innovators compared to Microsoft and Sony. Like, Sony can pump out the PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no one will blink, but Nintendo pulls out a Switch 2 and it's like, oh, it's the same thing? What are we doing? We had the Switch last generation. If you were in any kind of Nintendo circles, this is what we wanted. This is what I wanted. I wanted another Switch. It is too good of a concept to abandon. I think the outrage for a lot of this is disingenuous, and I think they're held to a different standard. Boom, there's the title. Don't you love it when they do that? We really wrap it up and say, remember that title you read when you clicked on that thumbnail? Oh, well, it came back around, and now we're here. To my earlier point, Satoru Iwata and Reggie Fils-Aimé did an amazing job at making Nintendo feel like they were your friend. From Iwata cutting his salary in half when the Wii U was failing to Reggie fighting for Wii Sports to be a pack-in for the Wii, these two men truly were pro-consumer. That has changed. Nintendo is now a bunch of men in suits, and the main man in the suit is Doug Bowser. I thought the Switch 2 launch was going to be a huge opportunity for Doug Bowser to show his stuff, because frankly, he hasn't so far, and his PR left a lot to be desired. He got really tripped up and made a huge mistake in my eyes by saying, wait for the Mario Kart World Direct, there'll be a whole lot more there.
Can you talk a little bit about how the gaming pricing strategy is $80 kind of the benchmark for a AAA game from Nintendo? What should we be expecting in the Switch 2 generation as far as how much we're going to be spending on these games?
You've had a chance to play Mario Kart World and see how deeply immersive it is and how fun it is. And we haven't shown everything yet. We still have a Mario Kart World Direct that'll be coming that'll show even the deeper feature set.
And of course, there was nothing. Even Reggie took a shot at Doug Bowser on Twitter, which shocked me to see Reggie do something that sort of petty and unprofessional. I don't know if Reggie was just wanting to flex that day or if he genuinely has a problem with Doug Bowser, but that was crazy. All of Doug's answers are just so clearly written by the marketing PR team. I think Kit and Krista, I've gotten really into them, the old Nintendo Minute people. They have a YouTube channel and they're an amazing listen. They go into the process that Nintendo does to prepare these executives to speak at these events, and you can tell every answer Doug Bowser gives is planted in his mind by a marketing rep. To go on the other side of the coin, take Reggie for example, and he just is a genius. He got destroyed by Hungrybox in Smash Bros, and he turned what should have been an embarrassing moment into an amazing opportunity to market the game.
I play all of the Nintendo games. I suck at Smash. but my opportunity is coming with Smash on 3DS, because now I'm going to play it on the go. I'm going to be able to come back up next time and kick your ass.
I really hope after all this, it's a wake-up call for Doug Bowser. He's really gotten to meet a lot more of the fans. He should fight harder next time to really try and do right by the American consumer. Truly, if Nintendo had a little more tact, I think they could have charged more and avoided all of this controversy. Let me cook for a second here. Here's how I would have done it. First of all, Welcome Tour is going to be our pack-in title, not Mario Kart. It's only a $10 value, and let's face it, after launch, nobody's gonna buy this thing. So that means we are not packing in Mario Kart World. Instead, we are charging $70 for it, not $80, which means in order to get the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World, you would be spending $520 instead of $500 like you would for the bundle. And even for the small handful of people who would have bought Welcome Tour, they would have spent $510, and you would still be making $10 more. The only way they could make more money is in the most expensive possible scenario, where someone buys the non-bundled Switch 2 for $450, Mario Kart for $80, and Welcome Tour for $10. But I think we can all agree that it's going to be such a small number of people that buy Welcome Tour that the measly $10 to $20 you save from that specific scenario isn't worth it. You wouldn't have got the backlash for the $80 games, and you wouldn't have got the backlash for not packing in Welcome Tour, and you're going to be making more money than you do off the Mario Kart bundle. Did I cook with that, or is there something wrong with my logic? Let me know in the comments, because I kind of feel like I cooked, I'm not going to lie. If Nintendo keeps up these anti-consumer practices, it is going to catch up with them, and frankly, it already is. You cannot expect your fans to give you the benefit of the doubt in any situation when you don't do the same for them. Leadership needs to take their mission statement to make smiles more seriously when dealing with their fans online. And to the other side of fans that are greatly offended and hate Nintendo, you have that right, but just shut up and don't buy the thing. Let people enjoy the console that is meant to bring people joy. Don't take out your grievances on Nintendo's executives and legal department, on their developers, and of course their fans. Again, any level of harassment of any kind makes you an absolute loser. Looking to the future, Donkey Kong Bonanza looks like it's gonna be the best game freaking ever. So let's try and enjoy the games that come out and get past all of this nonsense. To Nintendo, do better. To the fans, do better. To everyone watching, I hope you enjoy your Switch 2, because I know I'm going to. That's all I have for you today, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.